Yeah, I'm not trying to get
Yeah,
any opinion about that out
yeah,
from you. It's one of those, of course, I'm going to lean towards like, yes, and this needs to be looked into if that's a possibility.
yeah.
But I'll be frank. I followed Joey Ryan when he was on TNA, and I thought he would be like a kind of like a Val Venus. Who's that other guy? A Val Venus Rick Rude mix, honestly.
Oh yeah, he definitely uh, the gimmick. If nothing went down, I always say, I'm like, I don't care, a lot of people really like hate him, and I'm like, yeah, if nothing went down, he still was doing the gimmick, it'd still be so over because it was so
Yeah.
over, so over.
He
It didn't matter.
I listened to an interview, and apparently Mick Foley is like, "Hey, so I want you to suplex me with your dick." After
Yeah,
it became popular, and
yeah,
people, one of the questions that someone asked him, they're like, "Now, how do you pitch people the ideas?" He goes, "Well, at first, it had to be, look, you can say no,
yeah,
100% can say no, but there's a thing I do that people look for, and went
yeah,
into it." And I guess but with Mick Foley, apparently they're gonna do this like charity show. Mick Foley's like, yeah, you definitely got to do it to me. I'm gonna have Socko and everything,
yeah.
kind of thing.
There's times I have my spots, and wrestlers will see my stuff, and they'll be like, "Oh, can we do this with your gimmick?" And I'm like, "Sure." And like, "Really?" I'm like, "Yeah." And they'll have ideas. I'm like, "Let's do all of it," because I'm down for almost anything. And it's like, so it's just, yeah, like that is true with Ryan. Like they did want to see the dick flip. The fans really would pay to see him do that move, and it's crazy.
It
Wow.
became a meme and a GIF where someone
Hmm.
sent me the GIF and they're like, is this a real thing? And I'm like, yes. Let me explain.
Yeah, it definitely was just something that just right place, right time. He did in Japan. It got over, and Twitter, man, social media, like, just really changed wrestling too. Like, it got so over on
Yeah.
social media, and that was it.
The
Yeah.
Japan thing. So I don't know if you heard the interview or anything. That's where he said it started, and it was just
Hmm.
like the original person's idea is just because he's a white guy and it's supposed to be bigger than
Yep.
everything.
And
That's like the whole idea.
it was actually Sexy Eddie did it first.
Mm.
But I believe Joey Ryan had a bigger social media following, and it just got so big when it first happened, and
Mm-hmm.
it just skyrocketed his popularity even more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hey, I got one more question for you. All right, so
Hmm.
you've been wrestling for 11 years. What's the worst injury, or what's the injuries you have had?
Um, I the worst I ever had was I separated my shoulder. That's totally fine now. That was back in 2011, 2012, around that time. Um, there's always like everything a little bit here and there, like scratches, stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah,
My
of
knee,
course.
my left knee was a little banged up, but like it's okay now. Like little nicks and bruises, but like yeah, like I had a concussion, a couple like that was another injury I had.
Mm.
But yeah, just that and severed shoulder. Like for somebody been in so long, like I'm really safe too. I'm a very safe wrestler. A lot of people say I'm like the easiest wrestler to ever work and the funnest. So
Wow, that's
I
good
really,
compliment right
yeah,
there.
yeah. So being in so long and only having this little bit of injuries like that, because speaks for itself.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
absolutely.
absolutely. That does. That's a huge compliment of how many actually want to
Hmm.
work with you. And I mean, and some people get like weird, little afraid, but you're putting obviously their body in your hands. So
Yeah, yeah.
that's interesting.
We have a lot of fun. I always say, yeah, we're gonna, if people don't know who I am, I'll say, oh, it's gonna be so easy. It's a good night off. We're gonna have so much fun.
Yeah, of course.
Hmm.
That's cool. That's cool. Cam, you got anything else?
No, but I instantly thought because you mentioned the safe move, I'm like, I can't imagine how much the whipped cream center would hurt.
Yeah, exactly. I can do it to anybody. I can do it to anybody. Hell, you don't even need to be a trained professional wrestler. That's how great it is. I can hit it on anybody for something funny. You don't have to be a trained wrestler.
Yeah.
You whip cream in them, and you going back. You're saying like my finisher, like yeah, like I would come out, put the cream in one of my fans' mouths, and I'm gonna do it to my opponent. I'm pretty much telling the story right when I come
Yeah.
out. Like that's gonna be your end, but you're gonna get a stunner, and that's it.
Yeah, yeah,
Whipped
yeah,
cream's
yeah.
Yeah.
fine, done.
Yeah.
One
Finish show.
one kind of wish list thing though, do it to
Mm.
a football or other sports mascot. I
You
would
know
love to
what?
see that.
That's a great idea because I actually was watching the Judas Effect,
Hmm.
and Jericho's new finisher. And he did it to a mascot, and I laughed. I was like, "Yeah, I think I should do the whipped cream stunner to a mascot."
Wherever you're at or whatever, where you can get someone in a mascot suit, do it. It would definitely light up on the internet.
Yeah, big time.
That would actually. That would be seriously light up on the internet. And you gotta tag Stone Cold in that thing too. And KO.
Yeah, I did tag him in 316 day.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Did you get any
Twitter.
responses?
Nah, he didn't respond. He probably like, "Who's this guy?" He's making a mockery out of my move. I'm like, "But Stone Cold, like, it's the greatest finisher ever." Like,
yeah.
I protect the stunner.
One of the things that was kind of like a highlight for us is one of the episodes we were actually talking about the Halloween Havoc from WCW when Jericho did cut a promo on Raven. When I tagged Jericho in it, and he like retweeted it, and like our Twitter blew up briefly because of that.
Yeah, that was insane.
It's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we appreciate you being on here, man. Your time is very valuable, so we appreciate you being on here and sharing stories and also your career and everything. You get some good in-ring styles and no pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep on keeping on with your gimmick, man. That whipped cream stuff's going. It's already going somewhere.
It's fun stuff.
No joke. I'm gonna grab a couple of your videos and send it to my wrestling fans that I know watch like AEW and stuff. I'm just like, what do you think of this?
Yeah, there's a few people out there.
Yeah,
really doing that too.
Yeah, I always get I feel like with me it always gets a mixed reaction, or like people always be entertained and laugh at my stuff. If you don't, it's like you don't have no sense of humor, because it's just all my stuff's all humor.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And that's not a bad thing.
No.
I think one of the worst things is and I'm sorry, I'm gonna shit on this dude again because I disagree with him so much. Jim Cornette. I hate when Jim Cornette rags on like comedy wrestling.
Yeah.
Like I get it. You're not a fan of it, but it works. And because wrestling is such a huge thing, it's basically its own genre of art. So having horror and like Sue Young and The Fiend and Undertaker, all those guys, it gotta have that. You have to have the comedy with like you and Joey Janela is kind of comedy, but not really.
I agree. Yeah.
Miz is kind of in comedy as well, but like Orange Cassidy and stuff like
Orange
that.
Cassidy, yeah.
And then you have the other forms where you have the high flying that's more on the athletic side, more like a sports. Then you have the more dramatized, like a Jericho who's gonna take you on a roller coaster kind of thing. So I just don't get the hate towards comedy wrestling because it's actually for WrestleMania used to be like 6 hours. Having a comedy match in the middle of that 6 hours is a good break.
Yeah, exactly. And I always say this too, like I always say that comedy, like laughter, is the greatest form of communication.
Mm-hmm.
So come on. Yep.
You get more people that are upset about Robin Williams passing than some other actors, and that's a prime example. People get more attached to people that make them laugh.
Yep.
And you're okay. And I'm going to go back to your finisher again. Your finisher is a mixture of comedy, but it's also a throwback to Stone Cold because he did it with the beer. You do it with cream.
That was the idea. I said to my tag partner, I was like, hey, well, he wasn't my tag partner then, but he was wrestling. I was like, hey, I want to do a move where do a premium mouth in his stomach. He's like, oh, we're doing it. And I'm going to spit it like the beer, and that was it. That's it. It's organic. All my stuff came out organically.
Gotta do something different.
And I actually just thought of another throwback you can do. You could literally write SS and whipped cream on them, kind of like how the NWO used to do it.
I've done stuff like that. I've done 2 whipped cream stunners to opponents and together and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Any case, I'm sorry. It was one of those things.
Cool.
I really dig your gimmick. I'm actually a really big fan of your.
Honestly, when I found out about it a little more so, and then I eventually like, you know what? When I first saw, I was like, this guy's got a whipped cream cannon. That's okay. That's a little bit different. And eventually, started looking at more about it, and I'm glad. I was like, hey, you gotta have this guy on the show and see what he wants to see. Yeah, but I thought it was cool. It was like just something different. You don't see a whipped cream cannon in somebody's hands. About to go rest of the match.
Yeah, it definitely all the gimmicks. Like everyone will gravitate towards all of them, or one specific, like my pants or the shake weight, but the whipped cream, I feel throughout the recent years is like the main thing that fans really go for is my whipped cream and the extra creamy. That all came organically and stuff. And like when I first started, the gimmick was very like Quagmire pervy gimmick, and it just transforms into this wacky silly wrestler that has whipped cream and shake weight based offense. So
Yeah.
this is my evolution throughout the years.
I hear you. That's interesting stuff. I think it just it works good for you, obviously. And I've seen the fans' reaction.
Well, have fun.
Oh yeah. All right.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I'll shoot you because I just have an idea for a shirt for you. And I just checked for your pro wrestling tees just to make sure you didn't have it.
Yes. Yeah. ProWrestlingTees.com. I think it's Stan Stylez.
Sizzling Stan Stylez.
Yep.
Yeah. I was going to ask you that the question too, Ashley. So I we're about to go off. So I'm glad you actually let me know where you're at on there, Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm actually looking at it right now. So
okay, cool. Send me that too.
Yeah, I will. But do you want to call that a wrap?
Yeah.
All right. You can follow us, or I'm sorry, you can get us on Spreaker, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. You can follow us on Twitter and go ahead and take over for the rest, Mark.
For Instagram, it's at Wrestling Still Cool. TikTok is at Wrestling Still Cool 90. Facebook is Wrestling Still Cool. And you get us an email at wrestlingstillcool@gmail.com. And Stan Stylez, where can they find you at?
They can follow me on Twitter at the Sizzling One, Instagram Sizzling_Stan_Stylez, and Sizzling Stan Stylez on Facebook.
Y'all, Stan Stylez right there. Y'all, you go see his matches on Instagram and also on YouTube. He's got a great gimmick. It's entertaining. So Stan Stylez, got to check him out.
Yep. And it looks like you can get majority of these on YouTube based on what I'm seeing here. About 200 videos near that. So yeah, check them out. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, I appreciate your time, man. It means a whole lot.
Oh, anytime, guys.
And guys, enjoy the rest of your day.